changed things. Everyone will have been on wets anyway, but the conditions are back to bite as we go into the next final. And that next final is X30 Junior. Let's run you through the grid for this one. Katie Donaldson starts on pole position. A really solid set of results for Katie so far in the heats. Jack Baker alongside on the front row. It's Alfie Taylor and Lucas Murray, the novice, on row 2. Conrad Barton and Charlie Philp start on row 3. It's then James Backworth and Night Measures on row 4. Lucy Lovell and Katie Clark, they form out the 5th row of the grid ahead of Charlie Blenkinsop and Archie Lee Bullock on row 6. And then Ayrton Limmer Evans and Harrison Maxwell on row 7. Tom Fox and Alfie Fulton go from row 8. Josh Bunduck and Ethan Windsor on row 9. Lewis Hay, Henry Duncan and Louis Barker have all had very tough days today. What can they do in this final? We're away in race for 10 minutes plus 1 lap. And a brand new douse of rain on the circuit here in Shennington. Who's going to emerge from the pack in the lead of the race? It's Katie Donaldson, cart number 77 for Scotland, who leads this one, but not for long. Down the inside goes Jack Baker for Tim Wilson Motorsport. Great start there for Jack in the number 45. He will take an early lead. Alfie Taylor there as well in the bright yellow helmet in the red and white of Jade Racing Team on the Birrell ART is running in 3rd. Conrad Barton looking strong as well. You do get the feeling this is going to be a proper Jade Racing Team versus Tim Wilson Motorsport fight for the win in this one. But it's Baker from Donaldson, Backworth. James Backworth, that's a great start up. It wasn't Alfie Taylor. Alfie Taylor slipped down a couple of positions at the latter stage of that first lap. He's running in 5th place behind Lucas Murray, your top novice right now. Philp, Measures, Lovell, Barton, Blenkinsop, your top 10. You can see the drivers now having to go back to the really extreme wet lines. The rain is starting to team down, and I've got to say this is probably one of the reasons why we ran through the lunch break, because we don't want to lose light. It is quite dark and gloomy out there. It's fine, you can still see from Marshall Post to Marshall Post. I mean, in comparison to 1 month ago, it's worlds apart to 1 month ago, but is understandable as this is a forecast rain shower. Whoa, a very long way off the circuit. There is the number 40 of Alfie Fulton and Katie Clark as well in the number 88. So they fall down the order, still in the race. But it's a while since I've seen a cart that far off at Wilkins. Here are your top 2. Jack Baker, Katie Donaldson. 2 very experienced drivers. 2 very quick drivers looking to make their mark in X30 Junior this year. It's going to be an interesting year, both at a club level and I think at a national level. A couple of top drivers in the standings of various championships last year have moved on, but there's a lot of drivers who've stayed. A lot of drivers who moved up from Miami Water Swift last year, or at the end of 2024 I should say, and have gone, yep, let's go for a 2nd year in the juniors. And it should be a very, very competitive scene in X30 Junior for British karting in 2026. 7 minutes and 10 seconds of this race to go. Lewis Hayes on a charge. Oh, who was that flying off the road? The number 49 of Lewis Hayes nearly got hit by the commentary curse cannon, but crucially didn't. Is up to 10th place, having started 19th. But was it Charlie Blenkinsop possibly, who we saw going off for a KZ2 lap there? Yeah, I think it might. Oh, it might have been Conrad Barton. No, it was Conrad Barton. Conrad Barton's just done a second sector that was 10 seconds off the pace, and will fall down to the bottom of the order. I think Charlie Blenkinsop did have a problem though as well, because Charlie Blenkinsop's fallen down to 15th place. Just shows again, say Stratford Corner for me is the one that you've really got to have your wits about you today. Jack Baker definitely does at the moment. This is another quite balanced race. Katie Donaldson has set the fastest lap of the race though last time around, 48.84. That was just under a tenth and a half quicker than what we saw from Jack Baker. But Jack Baker has the thing that I think if you offered both of them a 50-50 choice right now, would you rather have the pace or would you rather have the track position? I would go for the track position every single time. Having said that though, we always say it for the leaders, they are the ones hitting the ever-changing surface first. They're going into the unknown. Those behind can follow, can judge, can improve. And there is the argument as well that as this rain comes down, those previous deltas and differences in the grip of across the width of the circuit start to change. It's no longer the case that you've got the very wet part of the circuit and the damp part of the circuit. I don't think it's quite back to a consistent level of grip across the whole width, but the difference between the two is definitely reducing. 5 minutes to go. I tell you what as well, these top two need to keep an eye on the driver behind. James Backwith started this race 7th, had a very good start. Has just gone and put in a 48.29 and is closing in. Is only 1.2 seconds behind the race leader now. I just wonder for Katie Donaldson as well. I say I've had the pleasure of earlier on this week being out in Valencia watching some racing also in the X30 categories. And we've been talking a lot about strategy and picking your moment and knowing that when there's a driver closing in behind that you don't want to be eaten up and thrown out the back of the pack. It's a very different last lap though. Jack Baker just suddenly set his personal best. It was a 48.66. Oh, look at the rain teeming down now. So it looks like the rain is getting harder down the bottom end of the circuit. But Jack Baker, for the first time in a while, was quicker than the two Jade Racing Team drivers directly behind. Extended his lead back up to nearly half a second again. Just a notice on our screen, Lewis Hay under investigation. Not quite sure what that would be for. But the number 49 up to 9th place now. Here's your fight for 4th place. Knight's measures. As I say, great to have Knight back. Had a bit of time on the sidelines and has moved up to juniors as well. So he's having the tougher year. He's having the one where you have to step up and learn a lot of things very, 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 very quickly. And at least on the basis of this showing, Knight is giving it a really good go, holding off one of the heat winners from earlier on in the day. Remember, Knight Measures had that technical problem during one of the slow procedures, the full course yellows. That's why he started a little bit further down the order. So again, his pace has been better than the 8th place on the grid that he started with today. And that's been shown because he's moving himself up to 4th place at the moment. Changes a little bit further down the order just to tell you about whilst we keep an eye on the race leaders. Lucy Lovell is up to 7th place and Lewis Hayes also through. They've both got past Charlie Philp. So 7th, 8th and 9th now for those three. Good drive in this race as well, just to mention for Harrison Maxwell, another one of our novices. As I say, that has just dropped down the order. I hope I've just not cursed him, but he was 10th. And now running in 12th place, has just lost out to Tom Fox and to Ayrton Limmer Evans. Ayrton, who had a good shining spotlight in the second heat. You can see the eyes of Katie Donaldson, just wondering now, where is the chance going to be? Is there going to be a chance? The track continuing to get wetter all the time. The rain really starting to beat down here at Shennington. Jack Baker's pace, it looked vulnerable in the first half of this race, but second half, very, very good. Another new personal best for Jack that time around. So as everybody else has backed off from their best pace, which is understandable considering how the track's been changing, Jack seems to have been getting quicker and quicker. Is this a setup thing? Is this a setup thing that maybe the TWM team went, it's going to rain quite heavily across the course of this race. Let's go with a more wet biased setup as opposed to a damp circuit setup that'll suit us better for the duration of the race. Purely speculating on that one, folks. Haven't got the data in front of me to indicate whether that is true or not. It's curious how Baker seems to be better in these conditions, or handling these conditions better than Donaldson and Beckwith behind. However, Katie Donaldson has still not been shaken off here and has still got a chance of winning this race as long as she's right there. About a cart length behind, 2 cart lengths max to Jack Baker. Change for 14th place. Charlie Blenkinsop has had a bit of a tough final, but at least has got back through past Archie Lee Bullock. That was on the last lap of the race. Oh, this is getting really heavy now. But the driver's doing a great job. No one's flying off the road. They're all driving to the conditions right now. Got a feel for our marshals. And I will mention as well, not just for the guys here with Alpha Live, but other places I've been this week. I've seen some of the worst conditions for camera operators ever the last 4 days. So if there's anything worth giving a like on the broadcast for on YouTube, it's for the camera operators. They have been superb here today, and yeah, not been easy. 2 laps to go then, including the one that we are on. Jack Baker still leads this race by 0.4 of a second from Katie Donaldson. It just doesn't seem like Katie's able to get within that crucial striking distance. It's again one of those races where our race leader has almost got an invisible wall behind them. I mean, in a way that they have. I remember a couple of years ago at the World Championships at PF International, and speaking to Ethan Jeff Hall about that race he had with Joe Turney, and asked him, do you think you were ever going to get through past Joe? And he simply said to me, no, Andrew, I couldn't see him. The spray was so bad that I didn't know where Joe was. And I wonder if that's a similar case here, that Katie Donaldson can't have the confidence to know where to go for a race-winning move because she can't see. The closer she gets to Jack Baker, the worse the visibility gets. And look at it now. This is really heavy rain now. This is what the UK's been dealing with for the last 2 months, basically, if you're watching from overseas. And it's going to be a big assist to Jack Baker, who's mastered the horrendous conditions here at Sheddington to win the X30 Junior final. Katie Donaldson is on the podium, P2. James Beckwith, great drive, P3. It's a double podium for Jade Racing Team, but it's Tim Wilson Motorsports who take the top spot in the hands of Jack Baker. Night Measures, brave drive through to 4th. Alfie Taylor 5th. Lucas Murray 6th is your top novice. 7th for Lewis Hay from the back of the grid, ahead of Lucy Lovell, Charlie Philp and Ayrton Limmer Evans. Across the line, P10, 2nd of the novices. 11th for Tom Fox, 12th for Harrison Maxwell, 13th Henry Duncan, Charlie Blenkinsop, Ethan Windsor, Alfie Fulton, Archie Lee Bullock, Josh Bundock and Katie Clark all finish ahead of, I think Conrad Barton had a problem on the last lap there, fell down to 20th place. So the rain has really come back with a vengeance. The drivers for the next race are in the pre-grid. To put